What is going on, everybody? Welcome to the new stream room about to set up. And I had this idea, sorry for the brightness of the window, but it's really nice to have open. I had this idea to maybe record me plugging everything into this setup because it is a dual PC setup. So some people are like, how does it work? How does it function? And just honestly to show my setup now that I'm kind of redoing it. So if you look, I've got my L-shaped desk. This is a standing desk. It can go up and down. It's a standing desk where I have all the cables, or I had all the cables, all zip tied to underneath the desk to the rails and all that kind of stuff, which is pretty cool. And I plan on doing that again, but I don't think I'm gonna get the cable management done today. More so focused on plugging the computers back in, monitors hooked up, making sure those work without any issues, and then plugging in the audio mixer, the Go XLR, and kind of running you guys through quickly how that gets set up with a dual PC. And then obviously make sure the camera's plugged in, keyboard, stream deck, microphone, and I think that will be it. So it's not too complicated, but my setup is gonna be different than everybody else's and somewhat similar in some spots and different in others. So I'm gonna try that out, but this is the new setup. I am going with 2 monitors stacked in the middle rather than having a vertical on the side and a vertical on the other side. I did put my camera to the left pointing towards me. The hardest part about doing this is I don't actually know how it's going to look until I plug everything in and open up OBS and see what the camera angle looks like. So that'll probably have to be moved a little bit, but I'm kind of liking the vibes of having OBS and everything else on the top monitor. Obviously my game or whatever we're doing on stream on the bottom main monitor, and then the right side I always usually have Twitch Manager open so that I can have my Twitch chat completely vertical up and down so I don't miss too much. And I can obviously, if I need to run polls, predictions, change things in Twitch Manager for any reason. So that's that. Got the Go XLR on the table here, and these are the PCs. If you've never seen my PCs, Stream PC I built back in October 2020, and then a main gear pre-built that I got not long after to rock the dual PC, and those have been treating me quite nicely ever since I've had them. So gaming PC's got a 3080, a Ryzen 9 5900X, I believe it is, and then the Stream PC is actually a Ryzen 5 3500, I think it is, and a 1660 Super. So it's holding its own to stream, it's holding its own to game. I'm pretty happy about it, so let's get plugging things in. All right, so first thing I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna place this. I'm not gonna plug it in just yet because when I'm plugging in monitors and PCs, I don't want this to be plugged into the wall in case something happens. It does have an on-off switch here, but this is a Belkin power bar that I got from Amazon a little while ago, but it could be grounded. It's a self-grounding power unit bar, I guess you want to call it, which is really good, especially if you have any power outages or anything like that. So when that does happen, your PCs don't fry and nothing happens bad to your equipment. This is also a really cool one because it has some in the middle. So for any plugs that go directly in, it's really useful because if you have plugs that have blocks on them, like for ring lights, for I know my steering wheel that I have is a block kind of plug. If you want to plug it into here, it's really annoying if you just have a straight bar. It takes over 2 plugs for only one thing. So this is really cool that you can plug those on the side and then straight in on the top there. If you're like me, when it comes to unplugging things and plugging them back in, for some reason you forget what cable goes where. It happens, old age, I guess. 34 years old is old age, by the way. I have a lot of gray hairs. I put little tape and it says game PC, and it's a power bar, so kind of hard to miss that. So this one goes into the gaming PC. All right, Stream PC power bar. It is kind of annoying though, because in my old setup, the back of the PCs were very accessible. There was an open spot there, so all I did was walk around the desk. This one, there's a wall right there, and the desk is so heavy that I didn't want to just put it in the middle of the room, connect things, and then move it with everything on it. So a little bit of wiggle is required. I'm not the smallest guy either. All right, so those are plugged into the computers. They're not plugged in the outlets yet. What I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get the monitor cables hooked to the back of the monitors and to the PCs. I decided that this top monitor would go for OBS and all that kind of stuff. So this top monitor, my Asus or Asus, however you want to say it, gets plugged into the Stream PC, and then the bottom one's gonna be my main game, so to the game PC, and this one will also be game PC because this is what I'm going to be running things like Spotify on. I got Discord going on, Twitch Manager, all that kind of stuff. So I want that to be on my game PC. Like I said, things tend to move after you set things up. So this one you can see, I've got main monitor, and this is an optic cable. So what I decided to do, and this is just preference, I don't know if it makes much of a difference, instead of using an HDMI to my game PC for my main monitor, I decided to go with the, I think they call these optical cables. It's not your regular HDMI cable. So I think these transfer the data, video and all that kind of stuff better. So I decided to do this because on the back of my PC, I have 2 HDMI cables or inputs and one of these optical inputs, right? So because my monitor is allowed to use this, I'll use this for the main monitor because a second monitor has to be plugged in for HDMI, and then a capture card has to be plugged in, and I'll kind of go through that. The capture card is needed for the dual PC setup. So if I used HDMI for both my monitors, I wouldn't have a slot open for the capture card. So gotta think smart, work smart, not hard, right? So I'm not doing cables like this just yet, but I will put it here. I've got my Asus monitor power bar, which is for the top one. And you'll notice that some monitors have the big plug-in power bar, or they just have these little ones. I think the newer ones probably have these, or I don't know how they decide, but anyways, this is for the Asus, so we'll go back here and plug that in. So as I was saying about some plugins being really large, this is my main monitor plugin. And someone's doing some work outside, so hopefully you can still hear me clearly enough, but this thing plugs in for your monitor. So that being said, it's good to have an outlet that can handle just this giant block going into it. And again, this is the thing, I'm plugging everything in and I'm trying to be careful not to move too much because I think it's where I want it, but it might end up moving completely. All the power cables for the monitors have been plugged into the monitors. The PC power cables have been plugged in there. They're not plugged into the outlet just yet. The outlet's not even plugged in anyways. So now we're going to plug in the monitors to the computers. Just squeezing in the back to try and plug this in. This one's plugged in, that one's plugged in fully. One more to go. Some of the joys of this is in your old setup, you might have a PC on the other end, so you have this really long cable that you don't necessarily need to use anymore. But when you need to use an HDMI and your HDMI is maybe not long enough, because this monitor was actually where, the top monitor is where this one is currently, so the cable's not that long, so I'm just hoping here that this HDMI reaches properly. At the end of the day, if I feel like I need to get an extra cable, a longer cable, it's not that big of a fix. On second thought, let's just make sure the computers work. After moving, you never know what could happen. So I'm gonna go down below the desk, plug everything in, and make sure everything is all right. I'm gonna use 2 zip ties to zip tie the power bar that I showed you to the bottom of the desk. And that way, when I'm plugging things in, I don't have to then attach a whole power bar with everything plugged in upside down. I'll do that first, and then we'll plug everything in. Come with me. I'll show you the under of the desk, and that's all I'm doing. The desk has these long bars going across the whole thing for supports and whatnot. So all I've done was zip tie the power bar to one of the bars there, and I'll plug everything in here, and everything has always stayed there. The plugs have never fallen down or anything because of it being upside down, but yeah, it all seems to work that way. Plug the power bar in, things are lining up, and I'll turn the PCs on. Non-PC expertise, I have just simply plugged the HDMI into a regular HDMI port on the Stream PC. It's got to be plugged into your graphics card HDMI port. Okie doke, and you can look at my nice moose as we continue our setup. One of the biggest things will be the Go XLR audio mixer, since it is a dual PC setup, but also the capture card as well. Capture card, very easy. It was right there. Figured might as well grab that, dust it off a little bit. That's the nice thing about when you move your setup, you can dust everything off and clean it properly, because God knows it gets dusty and it's hard to keep up with. I have the Elgato 4K60. Or actually this is the 4KX. Now what happened was, because my Stream PC is in a mini tower I had it built a while ago, the 4K60 Pro does not fit inside my computer, so I had to go with an external. Now I just got this about 2.5 weeks ago because I had a 4K Asus external capture card that eventually it was just
doing DHCP, HDCP error type thing. And instead of trying to figure everything out, because this is what I do for a living, I decided to go buy a new one. And I've always trusted Elgato products, and it was actually on sale. So still a pricey point. This was a $300 capture card at Best Buy here in Canada. Elgato, thanks for good products. So I'm gonna plug this in. This is a simple USB cable to the stream PC, and then a HDMI cable to the game PC. So it takes the video from the game PC and puts it to the stream PC so that on OBS we can put everything together. Let's focus on this XLR, yeah? So the XLR is an audio mixer. It allows us to share the audio from both PCs and back and forth, and obviously make sure that the stream can hear it and everything. So this is a fairly simple, but still complex if you don't know about it and how it works type of procedure. So what you're gonna have are a bunch of cables. Now, most important one obviously is the power. So Go XLR's power cable's in. So now you're gonna have some audio cables, 2 audio cables. And mine is a little bit different because this Go XLR is actually a little bit broken. So Go XLR, if you happen to see this, help me out. So you have some audio cables, you'll have obviously your microphone cable, and you'll have this which connects the Go XLR to your PC. So this is the Go XLR to game PC. I plug my Go XLR into my game PC so that I can control my music, control all my game audio, Discord volumes, everything like that, and main system volumes on my game PC. I don't need to do that on my stream PC. But you can plug it in your stream PC. There are ways to do that type of setup as well. So this is going to be a USB to the back of that into your game PC. My Go XLR, like I mentioned, is broken. The headphone jack internally inside is busted and my headphones don't work if my headphones, whatever headphones you use, are plugged into the headphone jack directly. So what happens is I have to go from the line out audio, so that's all the audio from my game PC. I have to use a splitter. So the splitter goes one to my stream PC so that the stream can hear everything on my game PC, and then the other goes to my headphones. So a simple fix, but still not the norm, because usually you would have a line out cable going to your PC, a line in cable going into your PC, and just a simple headphone cable coming to your headphones. But I'll show you what that looks like. So this is my line out cable from the Go XLR, and I have one of these, I forgot what they call them, isolators type thing. Sometimes with dual PC setups, there's a lot of power going through everything and there's a little bit of a buzzing sound, so this kind of eliminates that as much as possible. So you'll take the end of your, if you don't have this, you'll just have a regular kind of headphone jack looking type cable. Don't quote me on this, but I think they're 3.5mm headphone jacks, and you'll plug this into exactly what I wrote, line out XLR to line in to your stream PC. So line out is over here, and this will go around the back into the line in to here. So it's taking the audio from the Go XLR and sharing it to the stream PC. Now vice versa, so line out to line in, and then vice versa, you have another one, line in to line out on the stream PC. So this will go into your line out. So pretty much before I go into the back and plug this all in, power cable to the wall outlet, your USB to your game PC, or if you want to hook up your stream PC to your Go XLR to your stream PC, feel free. I don't see the purpose of this. I think it's a lot better to have full-blown fader control on your game, your chat, your Discord, your system volume if you're watching YouTube or whatever on your computer, and your music and all that kind of stuff. So I think that's best. Now the last thing I didn't plug in, because it doesn't need to be plugged in right now, is simply a Go XLR, or not a Go XLR, but an XLR cable for your microphone. The the Go XLR does take regular mic jacks. So if you have a USB mic, just simply do a USB to a regular kind of like headphone jack, plug that in there. But XLR, obviously better and more, best way to go with better quality. So I'm gonna push this back here, and I'm going to go and plug all those things in. And before I do, this is the simple splitter that I have to use. My headphones go into here rather than directly into the Go XLR. Last but not least, for the Go XLR, I will plug the power cable in, and we should see that light up. The Go XLR is always fun when it starts up. It's nice to watch. Kind of a recap. We've plugged in the PCs, we've plugged in all the monitors, we've plugged in the Go XLR audio mixer. Everything should work, and obviously that's, you know, the testing phase after, once you plug everything in. So what's remaining are internet cables, of course, and then the peripherals. So mice, keyboard, and camera for streaming, and obviously our microphone to plug into the Go XLR. Microphone is already here, obviously. It's just a simple cable, and we can do that now. Regular Go XLR cable, not Go XLR, but sorry, just an XLR cable for any type of XLR microphone that you might be using. And for those who are curious, I'm a type of gamer who really dedicates quality to audio and that high gaming experience with Apple iPhone, probably 7 or 8 earbuds, because they don't make these anymore, because I have to use a well, regular audio input, not no USB headphones, wireless ones or anything like that, given my situation with the Go XLR. So thanks, Apple, I appreciate you. All right, so something I use to plug things in is this little Anchor kind of USB, also Ethernet hub. The reason I use this and I plug this into my Stream PC because it has this Ethernet thing. I'm not sure when, I'm not sure how, I'm not sure why, but I've had this Stream PC for a while. The Ethernet port in the PC, in the back of the PC, doesn't allow the Ethernet cable for the internet to get fully plugged in. It doesn't click in. There must be something broken inside. So instead of trying to fix it and pay to fix that, I bought this, but it also allows me to plug in my wireless keyboard, which is for the Stream PC. I plug my Stream Deck in here, and I plug something else. I'm already forgetting what that something else is, but something else anyways. Maybe my mouse, actually, the one that I'm using that I just plugged into the top of the PC. I'll plug that in there actually. So, and I plug in the Ethernet cable there. Fun thing is, my old place, my old stream room, the modem was about, you know, a good 15, 20 feet away. So I got 25-foot cables for the modem. Now, I've got 2 of these things, and you can see the back wall. The modem is right there and the PCs are right there. So I have all this cable for nothing. And it pains me because they're really good Ethernet cables, and I don't want to try and sell them and buy something smaller for no reason. So these are just gonna stay coiled up on the, I think, leg of the desk as I had it last time, a little whatever slack I got, I'll do that. So I'm gonna plug this thing in, and then I'm gonna go back there and plug these Ethernet cables into the PCs. So for sanity's sake, I'm untangling this one single cable, and I'm going to roll it up with whatever distance I need to get to the modem down below. And then I'm gonna zip tie the excess so that I don't have all this cable underneath the desk having to roll it up and zip tie while it's underneath and hooked up. So I'm trying to prevent myself more work in the future by doing it now, I guess. I don't know how this gets untangled. It was literally a straight cable, but it is what it is. All right, so guess what? Battery died in the camera while I was doing the setup, but that's good because it spared you all the fun things like plugging in the keyboard, plugging in the mouse, looking at things and plugging things in. And the best part is I was able to get all the cable management done as well, and that looks pretty cool down there. Everything is hanging where it should be, as best as it could be, to be honest. Of course, my Ethernet cables that are 25 foot long for about a 3.5 foot drop. This cable that is hanging still is my mic cable, so I just kind of want to see how much play I need for that before zip tying it or tying it anywhere else. So that's done. This is all done. The setup is obviously going to change a little bit. I have some wall decor coming. Got my Starrett Titan tube down there with the guitar and all that. But really happy with how this room turned out. I was not aware of how cool the cracked pepper look would be on the walls. It's more like a charcoal, dark gray charcoal, not black quite, but it really makes things like the desk pop out and the greens and all that, and the light, of course. So got some things coming for that back wall, but overall very happy. And I'm actually really liking the monitor up and down with 2 in the middle and 1 on the side. So
that's that, ladies and gentlemen. So if you have any questions of how I did my setup or how things plug in for a dual PC setup or where I got some of my things, let me know down in the comments below. I don't really do these types of videos often, so if you have any feedback, feel free to let me know as well. Subscribe to the channel, I really appreciate it. Cheers.